The Christmas Gift is a really inspirational film that really focuses on the spirit of giving. This was released in 2015. It's directed by Fred Olen and it stars Michelle Trachtenberg as Meghan and Sterling Sulieman as Wesley. And it starts off with a very young Wesley packaging together a care package that's going to be sent to a child who doesn't have very much that Christmas. And the recipient of that package happens to be Meghan. Flash forward 2 decades, give or take, and the rest of the story involves adult Meghan, first of all, tracking down Wesley because he'd gifted her a notebook and he'd written in a beautiful inspirational quote in the front. And Meghan decided she wanted to find out who Wesley was because he's put his name at the bottom of it, and she manages to find him. And it turns out that his very giving nature never left him because he now actually runs a children's centre for foster children. And Meghan, being a journalist, decides to meet him under the guise of writing a piece about the work that he does. And she's going to do that, it's not a lie, but she decides not to tell him straight away that actually she was the recipient of a care package he sent out however many years ago. And the film largely focuses on her spending time with Wesley and the foster children, and we get a really great look at the wonderful work that they do, and it's so inspiring. However, it's not all straightforward because her ex-partner is also a journalist, and he's working on a story that kind of could damage her story. And I don't want to say too much about that because I didn't see it coming. I won't say what the story is about, but there are problems that Meghan has to overcome, and there are risks that she might have to take, and she has to put her heart or her head first, and it's not always clear what's going to happen. In fact, I will say there are parts of the narrative that are completely unpredictable. There are things that are predictable because it is a Christmas rom-com and generally they follow a pretty standard narrative structure, but absolutely there were some things in here that I hadn't expected. Meghan is a really likeable character. Wesley is, of course, a very likeable character as well. And I really enjoyed it. It is so inspirational. It's so uplifting. I think it will make everybody want to give, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And if even a small percentage of people watching this will then do something charitable or thoughtful for others after watching the film, that's a really gorgeous thing. It's also a really interesting narrative. As I said, there are a few things that I hadn't expected, so it kept me on my toes a little bit and made me feel a whole range of emotions, which is always a treat with this kind of film. It's got a nice enough amount of Christmas in. It's not the most festive film, but there's enough Christmas in there. It's more heartwarming than it is festive, but it still works really well. And I really thoroughly enjoyed it. The Christmas Gift is a very well-written film. Great acting. Most of the characters are very likeable. We have a couple of more antagonistic characters in there who are very well written, if not that pleasant. And it's so sweet and so moving. And it just has a beautiful message, a really, really beautiful, very moving, inspirational message. So I can't complain at all. The Christmas Gift is a really lovely film and one that's definitely worth watching.